It's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NFL action here. Texans at Browns. It's Masters Week, which means we have a nice little promo for you guys. Use the code MASTERS for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The Browns are favored -3. The total is 54. So we've got the Browns as a home favorite coming off a bye week against a team that struggled to cover a number. And just in general, the Texans have been on the struggle bus. 2-6 overall, 1-7 against the spread. Browns 5-3, 3-5 against the spread. We've got Nick from the Insiders Room to joining us to talk this one. Nick, initial thoughts on Texans Browns?
Well, the Texans have obviously gone through lots of turmoil in the early going. But yeah, off that 27-25 win over Jacksonville, I think the visitors, they have a big opportunity here to actually pull off a upset on the road in Week 10 here. Deshaun Watson, he looked really good last week. He had 281 yards and 2 touchdowns, along with 50 rushing yards. Cleveland went into its bye week off the 16-6 loss to Vegas. And so that was the first game that the Browns had to play without Odell Beckham Jr. Previous to that, the 3 previous games, they had scored over 38 points per game, and then they could only manage 6 without Odell Beckham Jr. And so now they come out of their bye week. Baker Mayfield caught COVID-19 during the bye week. So is he playing? Is he not playing? I mean, if he is playing, one has to wonder about his health. And they're already struggling on their offense previous to that. Cleveland has masked its poor defense with this dynamic offense. But yeah, I mean, it's been the Browns offense, which has won games for them, but without their top wide receiver, without possibly their number one quarterback in Mayfield. And if he does play, as I said, we have to wonder about his health. So for me, it comes down to the starting quarterback. And then I look at Watson and I just think that, he looks great. He's a dual threat quarterback. These are the types of quarterbacks that Cleveland has had issues with in the past or already this year. He's able to control the tempo. I think that he's going to be able to expose this poor Cleveland secondary. And so, yeah, that's it for me, Chelsa. The Texans are off a big win here. I think they would love nothing more than to kick the overhyped Browns when they're down here. And so I do like Watson. I do think the outright win is possible. But in the end, I'll suggest to grab as many points as you can.
Yeah, some matchups I'm looking at in this one is the Browns rush offense versus the Texans run defense. And if you haven't guessed, the Texans have a really bad run defense, dead last in rush defense, and they've spent most of the most time on the field of any defense in the league. So I think that's a bad matchup here for the Browns. But is it the Browns team that we saw when they had OBJ and a healthy Baker Mayfield is probably the question I'd be asking here in this one. Because, yeah, OBJ is not going to be running the football, but it's a complementary game, football. So the passing game offsets the run game. The run game, it helps. But the matchup that I like the most is a prop. And we're filming this early in the week, so we don't have odds on it yet. But I do like Will Fuller anytime touchdown scorer here in this one. Will Fuller for the Texans has had a touchdown in 6 straight games, which is the longest active streak and the longest since Antonio Brown back in 2018. Fuller versus a Browns passing defense that ranks 24th in the league and 26th in total scoring, I think is a great matchup here. And Deshaun Watson said earlier in the week that his life would be, quote, hell if they would have traded Will Fuller. So, yeah, I think he likes throwing to him. So that would be my play on this game as the week progresses. Hopefully the odds are all right, but that's what I'm looking at. Anything else that you're looking at in this one?
I guess the total, and I guess because the Browns are coming off that poor game there against Vegas, I expect the Browns to definitely open up the playbook here, and I expect the same thing out of Houston. They're going to try to run up this score early to try to take the wind out of Cleveland's sails there. So yeah, if I was going to lean to a total here, I would look for this one to go over. I think that, yeah, Cleveland will bounce back a little bit offensively here. Though, as I say, I do like Houston in this matchup.
Yeah, the Texans have to put up a bunch of points just because their defense is so bad, it seems like. Total is a bit high at 54, but the Texans, they score quite a bit of points, and they're 5-3 to the over this season. The only thing else I would look for if you're betting on a total is the weather. Right now, the weather calling for rain and 17-mile-an-hour winds, but 60 degrees. So just keep an eye on that as the week
Interesting.
progresses, because obviously forecasts can change. But that's going to do it for our NFL talk here on Picks and Parlays. As always, great stuff from Nick from the Insider's Room. Nick, thanks for joining us.